I'll go into the IRGC group chats and grab their messages, and then I'll show you guys what regime supporters are truly thinking and feeling. So our first one is here by this person. We'll translate this for you guys. I'm going to have to refresh this page. All right. So this message is kind of a doomer message. The Islamic Republic is not doing too well, and their supporters don't believe this either, saying there's nothing left in 3 months. What are you talking about? This is going to be better said in Farsi. I mean, could you read this for us? But basically, what this guy is saying is that what do you mean in 3 months? We can't last 3 months. There's nothing left of us in 3 months. But yeah, go ahead and make your deals or whatever you need to do. Sure. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, so the original news was about something that is going to happen in 3 months. So this person is saying, سه ماه دیگه چیزی نمیمونه ازمون. دلتون به چیا خوش کردین. So he's saying 3 months from now, there will be nothing left of us. What are you hoping for? برای توافق کنین تمام بشه این همه بدبختی گرفتاری بابا. So like just go and make your goddamn deal. We're screwed here. Like he's like, I'm done. Just go make a deal so that we could be over with it.
Regime supporters giving up on the daily. And that was the first one. The second one is this one. This is another regime supporter. When you see them talk about the officials, when they say the government officials, they're talking about their own government, like the Islamic Republic. So these are regime supporters saying, hey guys, can someone please tell our government officials that, like, what the F is going on? What is this situation? Have you prepared at all for this scenario? For example, I'm sick. The 2 medicines that I need are making my nerves worse. And today, or like not taking these 2 medicines that I need makes my situation worse. So today I went to buy my medicine. 1 pill of Lobel, the thing that I needed, costed 250, which is 150,000 tomans. So what, I can't afford it. What sin did we commit? We were born in this country. Then, if you go and protest about the situation, they're going to label you as a spy who betrays the homeland. This is the path that irresponsible officials are taking us. We're going to turn into Turkmenistan or something. People are already at the end of their wits.
I know your sin.
I
know your sin. I know your sin. I know your sin. As like Mas'ulin, the official. It was you. It was you. And your sin was America. You were the ones. I know you. I've seen you. You've been chanting death to America. That's your sin. That's what did it. It's not the official. It's you and your ideology. What was my sin? You declared war against the world superpower and you think there would have been no consequences? Like, oh yeah, let's go destroy the world superpower. This is the consequences of that chant that you've been doing for the past 47 years. You did this. Official.
Then they play victim. Oh, I can't afford the medicine, but I've like plundered the wealth of the Iranian people for 47 years. But now prices are too much. Let's take a look at the newspapers. By the way, if you guys missed Alligrams this week, please go back and watch them. You guys will be in for a treat. Look at this. So look at this picture, okay? They compare like 1979 to today, the same idiots, the same Durka Islamists, and then look at the title.
Is it? Ali, I think the lower one is the pro-Shah people. This is for the coup. This is for the Mossadegh time.
Is it?
I think that's what they're trying to do. I think they're trying to say that back then, the street was being held by the goons of American CIA trying to do a coup against Mossadegh. But now, today, the street belongs to us. So, because this is for the anniversary of Bisaysh Mordad, right? Because this was the anniversary just yesterday.
Oh, I see.
Yes. So when Mossadegh was trying, Yes. So when Mossadegh was trying to gain power from the Shah, so there's two narratives, right? Our narrative, which is the correct narrative, is that the Shah supporters came and stopped him. Their narrative is that the CIA agents came and stopped him, right? So that's the people they're referring to at the bottom, which is like, oh, these are the the Latayama, I don't know, the violent pro-Shah people. They held the street and removed the choice of the people, but today we have the streets. That's my understanding of this image.
So more propaganda. And then, guys, on the front, on the headline, it says "In bar khiyaban dast mardom manad," which means this time the streets will remain in the hands of the people.
Yes.
They know an uprising is coming. They're hijacking the narrative so that when people do come out on the streets, their propaganda to the rest of the world is that these are pro Islamic Republic people out in the streets protesting against America and the CIA. The reality is going to be the people out in the streets in the future are going to be against the Islamic Republic, trying to overthrow it. That was one of the headlines. Then we have a few other ones. By the way, if you guys want to see what a younger Ali Khamenei looks like, that's what he looks like. And then there was this one. Armin, who's this?
Oh my God, this is the return of the leader of the reformers. You know, guys, it all goes back to Khatami, Muhammad Khatami, the Rouhani class, the Zarif class, the Ghalibaf now, and Iraqi people. It all goes back to Khatami. And guys, this guy is more dangerous. This is the chocolate imam, okay? The chocolate robe imam, as they call him, right? And he is so dangerous. These are more of our enemy than many of the regime heads right now. This is, if the Islamic Republic has any chance of surviving, it will be because of people like Khatami and Rouhani and Javad Zarif, because they, and this might offend you guys if I say this, but they many times sound like us. And that's what makes them dangerous, because they will come and say things that you will like, this guy ain't that bad. He's making some sense. He has some good points. And that's why they are the most dangerous. The most dangerous, because that is by design. He's making a comeback, which to me, this is a sign that they're trying to create an option to capitulate to Americans. For example, Khatami just recently came out and gave a long speech, and all of these jihadi people are getting really, really, really offended. He's the anti-jihadi imam, right? And he came out and said that these people are delusional. They thought that they could defeat America, and you can't defeat America. They were delusional to think that they could defeat America. And you're like, oh, this guy is more reasonable than the rest of them. And that's the problem, because he says the things that makes you think that, maybe there's a good version, a more reasonable version of the Islamic Republic. And that's why he should give priority. And as these people need to be priority taking out these guys, the Khatami guy on the right. Yeah.
And it's just to stay in power. They will completely lie to you because they have something called Velayat Tafari, which means do whatever you need to do to keep the Islamic Republic, the Islamic Revolution alive. If you have to eat bacon or, make your wife not wear hijab, if you have to do that, you do it. Whatever you need to do. That's the slimiest ideology. It's just like, do whatever you need to do, take whatever side, don't stick up for yourself or whatever. That man on the right is emerging now and might be the next Ghalibaf figure in the future who's like, yes, negotiation. We'll negotiate with America and end this. No, they'll just keep power. We want the Islamic Republic gone. We don't want it reformed. We don't care how much it changes. The people of Iran don't look at, every time they count on the streets, they come out to overthrow the Islamic Republic. Everything that the Iranian people view and look at is with the lens of regime change. Does it help us in achieving regime change? If it does, that's a good thing. If it doesn't, we don't care.
He's a former president.
Yeah. Very influential president, former president. Then we have our next one. Guys, take it from the regime supporters here, saying we are officially heading towards economic bankruptcy. They also closed the comment section of the Quds Force channel, another Islamic Republic media channel, so that no one can comment because they know how angry and frustrated people are and how they curse at them. I think they will close this place soon too. So a couple things. One, we might not have alligrams anymore if they do close this,
Oh,
section. Let me see how many people. So this is about 21,000 regime supporters in this group discussion. This is where I got the
no,
messages for you guys.
no, Ali. I think ever since you've been covering this, I think more people from our side has been joining. I think you have brought people from our side. Yeah, but don't close it down. Ali, maybe you're
I know.
responsible for them shutting it down. They're like, oh no,
Maybe
our enemies are using the messages here to expose us. Shut it down.
they're getting censored. So they're across several state media, they're getting censored. They do censor in this one as well. A lot of the times, you guys remember, I will grab the messages for you guys, and then when I come to show you them, I open the link and it's like, boom, message deleted. The admins come in and they erase all the dissent. But here, apart from the censorship, we are officially heading towards economic bankruptcy. That is a narrative that I'm seeing hundreds of people talk about. It's absolutely coming. And it's just a matter of when. How can we speed that up? Because actually, the faster it happens, the better. The more it gets dragged out, the worst. And that is our allogram section. One quick thing to note, which is quite interesting, is that they actually aren't really reporting on what Trump said yesterday about economic D-Day. They didn't post it. They posted it paraphrased in their own words. They posted a picture of Trump, and they said that Trump is claiming that he controls the Strait of Hormuz and that he's going to pressure regional allies to stop trading with Iran. That's all they said. They didn't said the United States is going to commit, the most amount of economic isolation ever done in history, this and that, China, UAE, none of that. Because they know that makes way more panic, not reporting it.
I think what they think is that people are going to look around them. Here's Ali. This is my theory. You know what I think the reason why they don't want to cover that? Because people can tell, everybody can tell that everything is effed badly in Iran, right? And the regime is trying to suggest, many parts of the regime are trying to suggest that this is not because of America. This is because of mismanagement of the officials, right? Because it's interesting because foreign non-Iranians might think that the regime would be like the regime supporters would be motivated to say it's because of America and not because of the officials, to blame the foreigners and not the officials. But no, it's the exact opposite. They want to blame the officials and not America. For once, they want to make sure not blame America. Okay, so guys, the most jihadi people in Iran, they want to not blame America for the economic hardship that they're experiencing. Well, at least not directly. Because if it's America, then America is winning. The America has managed to cause, because their narrative is like, we're strong. America can't do anything with us. We're winning this. We're causing them economic pain. They're not causing us economic pain. The economic pain that we're feeling is not because America is successful, is because our officials are crap at their job, or spies and infiltrators. So that's why they want to spend and that's probably why they're not playing those videos, because people would make the connection that, okay, Trump is doing this to us, so Trump is winning.
So, can I ask you a few questions? You just say yes or no. So, the regime supporters are blaming their own government more than the United States.
Their own government, but not regime. Yes. And it's important to know the difference.
And so, when we say government, that means that the regime supporters are blaming only a part of the Islamic Republic. They think that the Islamic Republic in its entirety is perfect, but the government, those people are imperfect and they need to get changed, right?
Yes. Yes. So the term government and officials in Iran does not refer to the entirety of the Islamic Republic. Okay, so when people say the government, when they say the officials, they are not talking about IRGC, and they're not talking about the Supreme Leadership Office. Okay, they're talking about mostly the executive branch, and sometimes when they say when they say officials, they're talking about the three branches, and when they say the government, they're talking about the executive branch, but they're not including the and also the National Security Council and the other councils like that. But they're not blaming IRGC, and they're not blaming the Supreme Leadership Office. So it's selective blame.
So, what's happening now is that the politics of the internal regime, they're seeing that there's a wave of this, hey, well, let's blame the government, not the rest of the Islamic Republic. So,
Yeah.
why don't we just reform?
Why don't we just reform, like remove the government,
Yeah.
change the government?
Why don't we at least start with switching out the government in the future and then maybe going more towards the Islamic State?
Okay, so different people have different answers to this. There are a minority that think that we should just stop being a republic and forget the people and their vote and become just fully Islamic, even though that's how it is already right now. But there's so many other people who are pro regime, who are extremely Islamic, and their analysis is that the people are stupid, right? That the supreme leader has the correct ideology, but this is a government for the people, by the people. I know they believe that, and they have to respect the will of the people in the same way that Imam Ali did when he didn't become the first caliph. So even though the supreme leader knows what best for society and we should do what he says, but he respects the choice of the people so much that he submits to what the president and the Majlis vote for. And he, as the supreme leader, he could just decide, he could tell you that this is the correct path, but he's not going to force it on you. And he's going to bow down to the will of the people by accepting what the president wants to do. So these jihadi people will say, like, the people voted for Pezeshkian, so it's the people's fault that we are weak against the Americans, that we are weak against the Israelis, that the economy is in shambles right now, that hijab is not being enforced right now, that enough people are not being executed right now. All of this is because of the people making bad decisions and voting for the wrong guy. But what do we do is I mean, as Mosque Baramos, like our supreme leader, like our revolution is just, our supreme leader is just, our values are in the right direction, but the people keep making mistakes and they don't learn from their mistakes, and this is why we are here. That is their understanding of things, their
So,
analysis.
let me ask you some quick fire questions from what you just said so people can get a feel for this. So, the regime supporters are unhappy. You just be like yes or no.
Very. Oh yes, very,
They're
yes,
very
yes.
okay. So yes, very unhappy, and then they blame a part of the Islamic Republic. So that means they want the Islamic Republic to stay. They just want it to be a little bit different.
Yeah, yes. Well, very different. Basically, they want the people to choose Islamically rather than choosing for simple daily pleasures like dancing and singing and being able to go on a date, instead of like those Western values. They would wish we would
Right.
vote based on Islamic values. Yes.
Yeah. So like very different for them, but not very different for us. Um, so they want the Islamic Republic to stay, and they're unhappy. Do you think that they will stop supporting the Islamic Republic because they think this is the current Islamic Republic? We don't support this. So next time people come out
Oh,
in the streets, let's just stop. Let's stop showing up. Is that going to happen?
so depends on how much hope they have for things to get better. If they think there's a way to fix this, then they will keep defending it. But if they think it's over and there's no fix, then they will turn against the whole regime because they think that they need to burn it and start from scratch.
So
This is
then,
why in the Persian channel I was like making fun of them. I'm like, stop being reformers. There's no fixing this. Like, topple the regime. It's completely Zionist. It's a completely American Zionist regime. Fight.
so then,
Make it Islam. Yeah.
when the economic hardships really hit them over the course of the next month or two from this economic operation that's about to start or has started, it's about to get worse. Gasoline's about to get worse. Price inflation, housing, everything. These regime supporters, are they going to see a way out, or are they going to think it's all messed up? This is it. We got to start from scratch.
They're gonna so there's multiple views. They're gonna think that this was a plan to buy Pezeshkian and his people, to make the people unhappy on purpose, to cause an uprising on purpose, to bring down the Islamic governance, right? And
So they'll be
so some
super angry.
yes. So, but some of them think that if they go and try to stop the uprising, instead of defending an Islamic regime, they're defending Pezeshkian's power. So they don't know what are they defending anymore, right? So they're worried. They don't know. So they're confused. They're like, if they're in the next uprising, if I go and kill the people and defend this regime, am I defending the regime against Pezeshkian, or am I actually now defending Pezeshkian and his power? So it's very confusing for them, and they don't know what to do anymore.
So the supporters of the Islamic Republic are unhappy. They're angry and confused at their own government. And they're no more than about 5% of the population. That's not looking too good. The next uprising is going to be larger than the one that we saw in January, in my opinion. What do you think about that?
So between major uprisings, we might have some medium or smaller uprisings, right? So we don't know. It might be, but just be careful, because if we create the expectation that the next uprising is going to be bigger, then if it's one of the smaller uprisings, people are going to think like, oh, there's no big uprising coming. Sometimes between big uprisings, we're going to have multiple smaller ones. Sometimes, so
Yeah. I think that's not going to be the case this time, just personally.
okay.
When that next uprising happens, let's just say regardless of how large it will be, every time before, the regime supporters stood by the Islamic Republic. Am I right?
Yes.
This
Yes.
is the first time that we're hearing and seeing, even from the messages that I gather for you guys,
Yes.
videos, everything, that they will not stand by their government. I mean, how many times do we tell them that these regime supporters that you guys are the minority? And if they stop showing up, no government can or no dictator can stay in power with no support.
Yeah, exactly. We should. I mean, don't tell them that, because I want them to. I want them to. I want them to be able to rise up against the regime. Because if you tell them that, then they're going to think like, oh, I don't want to be responsible for the fall of the regime. We should tell them that the regime is not Islamic anymore, and you guys have been taken over by Zionists and Americans, and encourage them to rise up.
So if you guys would like to help with the downfall of the Islamic Republic, please go on social media and start mass spreading the messages that the Islamic Republic officials like Pezeshkian and Ghalibaf and Arakchi are all Zionist agents and very pro-America.
So can I quickly respond to this?
Yeah.
Function, why was this person timed out? This is actually a very important message. This is like, don't time out people like this, especially if they disagree with us. I would love them to be here on our channel. So I hope you're still here. Somebody saying we will follow Islam. Somebody with the username we will follow Islam only is saying, I am a proud Muslim and I want to have a one-on-one discussion with you. How can I arrange a discussion? Email me at armin.navabi@gmail.com. armin.navabi@gmail.com. So this is my first name, ARMIN.NAVABI@gmail.com. Email me there. Oh, it was trolling? But it's good. Trolling is okay. Spamming is not. Yes.
I don't know how you have the patience for these people. But hey.
Yes.
So yeah, that's what we're telling you. That's what we're telling you. There's going to be an uprising from the Iranian people. Then there's going to be an uprising from within the regime, and that's the coined term that Armin said for a few years, the double uprising. If you guys hear that, this is what they mean: regime supporters and Iranian people at the same time targeting the Islamic Republic, who in turn does not have as much money to fund its suppression forces. We just have to make sure that when we do the next step, the next uprising, that is going to be the final one. The final and last one. What the heck?
My name is Armin Navabi. I'm an Iranian political analyst with decades of experience fighting the Islamic regime inside and outside of Iran. Make sure you follow me for more, and also make sure you join our discussion group. I'm there almost every single day. Come talk to me there and the rest of the people there in our group calls. It's a great place to meet and talk to people who like talking about politics. The link is in the description and or in the bio. You could also get there by scanning the QR code on the screen. See you there.